Well, I literally just started a video saying, you know guys, it's so funny how since I changed my PC, I'm always shocked at how quickly I can start recording. And then I immediately started recording and realized that I was riddled with issues. Anyway, hello, welcome to another video. I predict this is going to be, I don't know, because I haven't completed the game yet, right? But I predict this is going to be one of the best episodes of the LP, just for how amazing what happens is. Now, I've probably overhyped that already, but we'll see. We're on the top floor of the pyramid. This is no longer a tomb. This is the ceremonial chamber. Unfortunately, I don't know much about pyramids in real life and exactly what would be at the top of a pyramid, except the fact that they used to put a big block of, they used to line the pyramid with gold, I believe, and then they would put, is it platinum on the top? I think it was electrum they would put on the top. Electrum is like this kind of fantasy crafting material you'd expect, but it is a real thing. It's literally just what happens when you mix gold with silver. And I think they'd put a big electrum block on the top so that it would shine or something like that. Or the whole pyramid was electrum and it was pure gold at the top, I don't know. Anyway, so we're at the ceremonial chamber. One thing I really do like about the design of the pyramid is, look at how it actually does shrink as we go up. Look at this. Ding, ding. So they did all this kind of synergy with the trapdoors and stuff, which admittedly maybe was a bit easier than it seems because they did these arbitrary, you know, long hallways to get us over the right area. But they are smaller too. You know, and I think these are little things that, because these are quite a small indie studio, I can imagine these guys being like, yeah, this is the kind of really fun stuff to design. But yeah, so there we go. We're at the top now. We do have, last episode, 2 tomb keys. We've got a bunch of junk on Loto Patho, notes, stuff about chests before, things I just want to put in the vault, basically, like this thing about Burl the Hedonist and the mirror gauntlets, which are never left in his tomb. Thought I'd have it as a keepsake for, you know, the blueberry pie, which, of course, we also still have, and we haven't eaten yet. We've got, I guess Jonker is going for mirror armor on this file, which is kind of weird, because on my other file, which I was playing a lot of last night, he's totally not doing that at all, and he's got like 80 protection because he's just been hoarding all this heavy armor we've been finding, but no evasion. He might end up going like that, I don't know. Did you guys just hear a weird noise, or was that something in real life? Alright, okay, so we start off in this pretty creepy room. We'll restart our torch here. And this floor is going to be a lot shorter, as you can imagine, because the pyramid is getting shorter as we come up. And there's nothing in here except this one door. Now, this really freaked me out. This is one of those moments. This is an, oh god, there's going to be something dangerous moment. But as we come down, you'll find really it's not so bad. This is just a dead end with no secrets. In here, we do have a flying fireball. And I know, yesterday my hands were drunk or whatever. And we didn't do too impressively in a situation like this. But I am fairly confident we'll be okay. So we can chase this along like so. Move into the middle. But you'll notice we're just kind of locked in here and there's nothing really going on. So we'll have to come back here We'll have to come back here later. The really sucky thing about the fireballs are that they will injure you. And a head injury, as you can see, I've not really talked about in the LP. Minus 50 accuracy, that's really bad. I don't think there's a save crystal on this floor either, so that really sucks. I also don't want to waste a healing potion on it or anything else, so I'll probably just cut it and go to save crystal in a second. However, if you look carefully, I was sort of hinting at this before. In the corner of one of these areas, there is an item. Can you see that bracer there? So we're going to try and grab it. Okay, get ready after this fireball moves past. Okay, go. We're going to grab it, and then we're going to move back like that. There we go. Now, this is actually an item we've had before, I believe. This is just a bronze brace. This has got resist shock minus 20 and boost your critical chance by plus 3. Junker already has one of these equipped, but it would be very nice to have this on tick crit. The evasion is kind of cool. This will put him in negative evasion now. Which, you know, we'll regain when he goes into light armor. But by having the critical on tick crits, I value that quite highly because he can already crit from range because he's a rogue. He's been going into the critical tree. In fact, this is the next line he's going to be pushing into quite heavily. So it just kind of makes sense to me. And now we have this with the evasion, which I think we can probably put on Loto Patho. Which, oh, yeah, because we're not going to be coming up against too much more poison from now on. So I quite like that idea. Here we go. And then, does Sanin have a bracelet? He doesn't, so there you go. You get to have the poison resist. So that's a cool little pickup, right? It's not a secret, it's just a pickup. So that's kind of nice. Now, because we're moving with the flow of the fireballs, we can move out a lot more safely. And we'll move through. That isn't the last we've done with that room. That's where we came from, of course, so we'll move down here. And we come into this large chamber. Another crystal flower, one of these very rare crystal flowers. This, I guess, is the ceremonial chamber itself. And in this room, we have some pots in the middle. That was weird. I thought the pots were in the very middle, and then I had a really bizarre moment where I thought they just moved in front of my very eyes. And we got a bunch of chambers coming off of the side. It's all deceptively very large. When I first came here on my test, I didn't have either of the tomb keys. I just sort of pushed through, and you know, I had this really kind of scary experience where I was like, I'm not even done with the second floor, and there's all this stuff. But really, it's not so bad at all. A bunch more of these gold cobras. I've been expecting these to come to life for a long time now. Okay, have you guys? Well, over here we have a head. And here there are 2 keys on the sides of the head. It's also really creepy if you look directly at it. Like it's all angry and slashed up and destroyed. I have no idea if there's deeper story or meaning behind this, or they just did that because it looks cool. And another crystal flower there. Tick rate is almost alchemy level 5, so we'll be able to make use of those once we find a recipe. And over here we've got some more pots which we'll break. And I believe under some of the pots is something. But you start to find incredible gear up on this floor, and I don't know why it's just randomly up here. Maybe it's supposed to be a reward for you having come so high. We got a couple of frost bombs. Those will be super useful later. Where did they go? I thought I put them on Loto Pafo, and they seemed to... Wait, did they disappear? I don't get it. What the hell? Where are the frost bombs? Oh, is it because he's wielding them in his hands? Okay, that's cool. We also get even more cannonballs here, so Jonker can lug those around. There's 11 of them. We get some cool images. Now, each of these side chambers I've just shown you guys actually have a plaque in them. This says betrayal, and so combined with the word betrayal there, we can actually get a bit of story here. Now, you'll see, presumably the pyramid being built by the Zaffi, by a very big, scary-looking monster here. And then you've got maybe the priests or whatever that are, you know, standing slightly higher, perhaps commanding people. They look like they're wielding whips, right? And then even higher than them, they revere the man in black. Very curious. And over here... so we see all this culture worshipping, looking up towards this guy. And then over here, we seem to see them all locked inside their pyramid, maybe. But definitely one of them seems to have fallen over as though he's been attacked. They all have their arms raised as though they're angry. And the man in black is actually firing bolts at them. Snakes, are these? Yeah, but seems to be oppressing them, keeping them there. And it's very curious as well to me that the man in black is actually wielding what is quite clearly this badass weapon we used to even enter the place. Now, I don't know how subtle this is or how much we're supposed to be paying attention, but that's definitely the serpent staff, isn't it? So, and we just randomly found this in the bog? I mean, I thought the man in black told us out the front that that this key had been, like, thrown away and was perhaps unrecoverable or something. Is he just playing mind games on us? He was wielding it? Why did he ever put it down if it was what he used to oppress these people? I really don't have the answers to that either, guys. It's just kind of what I'm speculating about randomly. So, we've got a pressure plate here. If we drop it, you'll see there's a little chamber over there, and a gate opens into a small room, and that gate is actually where we were blocked off before in the fireball room. So what we'll do is we'll put that arrow there in case that's going to be used for something. Over here, we've got a rock. Oh, okay, no. See, they always give you rocks. They're so nice, the developers. There we go. So that's that room, and the other room on the other side again has a note on it. It's not as interesting as the one I just did. This is called Arrival, so the other one was Betrayal, this one's Arrival. And the 2 notes in here show the some images we've already seen in some of the secrets you might have noticed. You got some Zaffi arriving to the island with these big kind of beams, seem to be luring them in, and then them worshipping him at its core. So really the further story we just got was the betrayal part. Here we find a huntsman's cloak, and this is actually better for Jonker, would you believe it? He's been in a tattered cloak the entire time. Instead of just evasion +2, he now gets evasion +4 and dex +1. I would put it on Loto Pafo. Maybe I should put it on Loto Pafo, because he gains strength from that too, doesn't he? But Jonker, strength is so important to Jonker. Unless maybe we put it on Tikrit, because he can use the dex also. But he's not evasive, and Jonker is, so I think we will do that. There we go. And we'll keep the tattered cloak. Certainly once we get out of the pyramid. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I told you guys we were going to be starting this episode outside. I changed my mind on that based on what I was doing with the test file the other day. There you go, Tikrit, you can carry some stuff. You're fairly strong. Oh yeah, I changed my mind with that just a little bit, based on some of the stuff that's going to be coming up. I thought it'd be kind of nice if we stayed in the tomb for a little while. Here we've got another area. Don't forget the previous pressure pad we already had weighed down. We'll keep this weighed down. In theory, couldn't you lock yourself in here? But then I suppose you could always lean through the bars and drop something back on it. Kind of a cruel little trap. If you think about the way Grimrock works, just as a game, as an engine, this whole idea of standing on a pressure plate, walking through and the door snapping shut behind you and there's no way back, must have happened like when they were testing for bugs so frequently. So frequently. Here, we'll smash these, see what we've got. Go back to the better weapon set with Loto Patho. Notice, curiously, there's been no enemies. We're kind of getting lulled into a false sense of security, doesn't it feel like? Here we get a scroll. This is a scroll of Dark Bolt. Kind of an interesting spell. It shoots a ray that engulfs the target in magical darkness. So we can test this out because this only requires concentration 3, so it's like so. And, you know, I'm not really sure what the mechanics of this are. I think it just might make enemies more blind to you. We're really close to Air Magic 3, and as soon as we hit that, we can cast invisibility on ourselves. But you guys will notice some enemies can still fight you while you're invisible. Like if you're holding a torch out while you're invisible, they'll still be able to see you. So maybe Dark Bolt is something that plays into that, and now they're totally blind and you're invisible, blind to like the light of the torch or something. I don't know. There are ways, I believe, of playing around with aggro, and maybe this does damage too, you know, Dark Bolt. Nothing necessarily suggests it's got anything to do with vision whatsoever. We'll try it out in a bit. Okay, so the last thing to do in the ceremonial chamber is come back through here, not get hit by a fireball, hopefully. There we go, come on. And we're going to go through there now, because now that gate's open. And here we will find, it's basically a secret. It doesn't count as a secret for you. We get an energy potion for Sandon, not a very strong one. He's got so much energy now anyway. He's not really going to find that very useful. But here we find a gear necklace. I am missing something from this floor, I've just realized. So this is another necklace, another amulet for us. Health plus 15, energy plus 15, a heavy metal machine part from distant past. Now this I find really curious. Those of you who played Grimrock 1, you'll know the kind of weird stuff that started happening at the end, that talked about like the deep history of this world. Cue me editing on the world map there. And it's really curious to me that we suddenly find a gear necklace. I've been expecting this game for a long time to go in that kind of direction again, and it hasn't so far. And now there's this, in this place that seems to be quite telling of the man in black, who looks quite similar to the people we... yeah, I don't know, guys. Anyway, the question is, who do we actually want to equip this on? Everyone's already got quite nice stuff, but I think Tikrit with the willpower plus 1, he'll do better with the extra health, right? Help him tank some better stuff, so that's fine. Spirit Walker pendant's nice on him. I mean, the Frostbite necklace really doesn't do very much for Jonker, so maybe we should do it this way. Because Jonker's going to be on the front line, that health's going to be more important to him. I mean, the energy is important to Tikrit, sure, but we can go willpower and basically have the same. So yeah, that's okay. That Frostbite necklace is so weird. We got that right early on in this. It's been quite an adventure we've been on, if you guys think about it, right? Like, ages ago in Twig Root we got that, and we've barely fought any cold damage so far. That's probably just because of the ordering of the places I've been to, though. Okay, so, with all that done, I now need to figure out where that other amazing item here is that I've totally missed. Oh, it's right there. Is that it? So there's a cubby hole here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I move. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So we find this crazy thing here. Very heavy, 5 kilograms, okay? Heavy armor. This is Meteor Leg Plate. This gives you protection plus 18 all on its own, not counting for the fact that speccing into armor will buff that even further. And it's described as a massive looking piece of armor. The strange black metal feels harder than any material you have encountered. This thing is pretty incredible. I believe it is the most powerful heavy armor set in the game. I know that takes a bit of the magic away, but we kind of get thrown this, I guess, reasonably early compared to other stuff. And so now we really do have this decision with Jonker. Do we want to keep him on the mirror stuff and maybe go for the evasion, or just stack the hell out of protection? I think we may end up stacking the hell out of protection. We do have a problem here right now, though, where Jonker is finally feeling the weight of his load. So we're going to put the cannonballs back over on Tikrit, and he can carry this around. So that's a really cool item. I wouldn't recommend missing that. Let me just check this other cubby hole. That would be a great place for a secret button. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think you can turn the fireballs off. I don't think there's anything else here. Of course, in theory, we can always return to places. The last thing for us to do is to head here and put in these 2 keys. And I'm going to save the game. Okay, here we go. 1 tomb key. Oh, God. And 2 tomb keys. Oh, well, it just makes a teleporter in the middle. So we can... Oh, and some mummies come out. Well, mummies aren't so bad, right? We'll just step back a second. Oh, and a couple more mummies have come out. That's totally fine. We can kill some more mummies. We can kill some more mummies. That's all right. And just being careful of... Oh, and some even more mummies. Just being careful of the golden snakes. Now, in my first playthrough, my main fear was that golden snakes were going to be coming alive and you know, ripping the poop out of me. We can try Dark Bolt here. Crap, what was Dark Bolt? I forget what the spell was. But no, instead, we just get a ton of mummies. So more mummies are coming out. And even more mummies will be coming out in a second. I feel so much stronger on this file than I did on my test. Like, so much stronger. It's unbelievable. Even more mummies. Well, all we really want to do is go into that teleporter, right? In fact, it feels like a lot less mummies are coming out of this than last time. But I said to you guys earlier on in the pyramid, what's the deal with the mummies? Where are they even all coming from? Like, there seem to be a lot of undead here. Where is the Zaffi civilization, right? Maybe it's here. Look at this. This isn't a cutscene. This isn't anything weird. This is the real deal. We're outside, guys. Welcome to the Barren Desert. This is ridiculous. Yes, you are seeing a huge field full of mummies, full of undead, and more. There are some really peculiar enemies here. Some old friends. Some really scary things we just saw in an image, which maybe you can spy out in the distance. This was such an impressive feat for me that the devs managed to pull this off. I think this is fantastic. Look at this. Every single enemy is fully rendered there before us. No loading screen. I don't know whether that's because the game's installed in SSD or what. No loading screen, no lag. It's running perfectly fine. Yet the field is filled with monsters as far as the eye can see. And every single one of these is something you can kill. Suddenly, that energy potion doesn't look too bad. Even a heavy one, look, that barely feels standing up. Now, these guys aren't dangerous, but they do all give you experience. And, I mean, it's going to be a hell of a time trying to get through this barren desert. Now, the scary thing is, look at where we just came from, over there on the left a little bit. Where's the teleporter, guys? Where is it? You can't go back. As soon as you step through that, you're stuck here, surrounded by hordes and hordes and hordes of undead that you just have to keep cutting through. And it is a war of attrition. Eventually, you're going to feel the sting of this constant battling, but you have to handle it. You have to back yourself into a corner and keep going. Now, the even scarier thing is, though, if you accidentally get the attention of something you don't want, Loto Patho is getting a bit in danger there. We'll move him down there. If you accidentally get the attention of something that you can't handle, you could be dead. Like, from here, I could be about to get sieged by some very scary enemies in a second and get owned. I never healed Loto Patho up. No, that's why he's missing constantly. Do I really want to... Now we're out of mana as well. This is kind of bad. Because he can barely hit. Alright. Sanon, you've still got a small one, right? That's fine. I know I'm not using any special abilities here. Okay. Oh, there's still one alive. Come on, die, please. Okay, good. No. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're going to keep getting surrounded. Now, do remember, we have 2 of these crystal shards of healing. We activate one of these in our inventory. It will treat it just the same as if we touched a save crystal, except it won't actually save the game. But it will cure everything, regen us fully. So this may be something I look into in just a second. Now, we have a very short supply of them, and I do need them for later. So I don't want to go crazy with them. But we may have to try this in a second. They will eventually ease off. Now, not every mummy in the entire game is aggroed on us right now. I'm getting a little bit scared here. I don't want people to die, especially because I don't want them missing out on experience. So we're going to start running. There we go. We've cleared quite a few mummies out. Oh, no, move. Oh, loving the one-shots. Okay, there we go. There's something we do not want anything to do with. Let's run out into the middle of the field. I think I should probably touch one of these crystals, guys. We're just going to keep running. And over in the top right, now, because I've done this before, maybe it's a... This is a place where, by the way, I feel like it would be great to be blind. Because you're just so scared you don't know where to go. But because I've done this before, I do know that in the top right is a save crystal. So there we go. We didn't actually have to use one of those. Whew! Okay, so we've got that. But now we are still left with this daunting fact that we have a field, a massive desert, and no particular way to escape. And there are some big monsters here. Very big. In fact, if you look in the distance as well, you should see a very small but familiar enemy out there too. No. Okay, he's definitely aggroed. I actually got game over the first time I came here because I had one of those big rock golems chase me through one exit at the save crystal, and I was holed up. And then the other one, because there's another one as well, you see him over there, came at me from the other side. Oh no, this isn't good. They're both kind of in the same-ish area. So we're going to have to move very cautiously. Ultimately, there you go. Look, we're getting sieged by him now. Okay, alright, that's not good. That's not good. He's definitely chasing me down. Alright, move this way. Maybe I can bait him around. There we go. Yeah, you can chase me this way. That's fine. Ultimately, we are going to want to kill everything here. But maybe not on our first trip. I mean, some people suggested, hey, you should do a montage, something like that. I can kind of see the idea of doing a montage. but I don't know. I think it's not the kind of thing my team is probably even equipped for at the moment. Really, we just want to find a way out. And that's what I'm going to try and do for the rest of this episode. It's over here on the very top left of the barren desert. I was stuck here for hours. I will just add hours and hours and hours before. Now, you can stay here and grind as much as you like, get a bunch of levels, and indeed, I probably will do that. We've already got 3, as you can see. So it's kind of like a really nice place and also a really scary, horrific place at the same time. There's a bunch of secrets to be gathered here too. There's like obviously one of these faces here that tell you really interesting stuff. This guy says the way to Ascension leads through the hidden 5th shrine. Okay, so I mean we've heard of that before, the Shrine of Balance, right? As far as we could tell before. But there's another face that tells you something even more crazy in here, which I kind of want to show you guys. But I guess what we'll do for now is we will just escape. We'll escape the desert and go through here. And what do you know? Look at this! We're facing the pyramid. Oh, old familiar. Look at this. We can pull this lever. Do you remember this? All this time ago? Look at this face that says the Silent One has a friend who's more willing to speak. Head towards the sunrise beyond the gate to find him. Oh, we're back, guys. We're back. For what it's worth, the map shows the barren desert all the way over here on the left. We barely explored it. We will be returning there very shortly. However, next episode will start because we're here, because we're back in old familiar territory. We'll drop some stuff up in the vault. We'll figure out what we're doing with our team. We'll get those extra secrets, those buried chests. And we'll go in there for round 2 for some pretty crazy revelations from one of those faces in there too. And of course we'll level next episode as well. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. That's the Pyramid of Yumas pretty much complete. And I'll see you next time.